welcome to Well Rounded Momma's YouTube channel. My name is Tori. I'm one of the midwives here. I'm joined today by Cora, also one of the midwives here. We are a maternity center in Las Vegas, Nevada, specializing in home birth, and we are going to be talking about our favorite books today. It's a reading day. We get asked all the time by our clients, like, what's our go-to book recommendations? What's a good place to kind of learn and explore some of those things? So we're gonna kind of go over our top 3 books that we picked that I usually share. Cora didn't really pick, I went and picked myself, but she agrees with me, so it's a win. It's a win because she always agrees with me.
They're like the same person.
So today we kind of are just gonna focus on like pregnancy related books. Maybe we'll do a postpartum or like getting pregnant fertility books later. Might catch that video later. If you guys want to see some videos on that, let us know. But for now, we'll talk about like pregnancy and birth books. So we have picked for you guys A Thinking Woman's Guide to a Better Birth. I actually read this book originally when I was a doula, and I really liked it for the fact that it was this is just the basics. Easy read, what you need to know. It goes over everything from like IVs in the hospital, inductions in the hospital, why do we always see so many C-sections in our mild epidemic in America with C-sections. It talks about breech birth. It talks about some of those things that might come up. I did feel like from a doula, it was more of a hospital-based birth book. I mean, it's got a lot of good information. I mean, birth is birth, right? But I felt like it was talking a lot more about some of the things that we see in the hospital side rather than what we see in a home birth side. But a really good read. Love this book by Hinkle. Is that how you say it? Hinkle? Sure. I'm pretty sure it's called Hinkle, but we will link all these books, of course. Again, really easy read, really straightforward, to the point, what you need to know. Really love, love, love this book. Cora's gonna talk to us about our next books, which are a little bit more home birthy for our home birthers.
This is Ida May's Guide to Childbirth, and it's kind of just filled with a lot of positive birth stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because especially when you're pregnant, everybody wants to come and tell you like their difficult
horror stories.
Yeah, their horror births.
And you're like, why are you telling me
And
this?
so I think it's so important to keep positive and hear all these positive birth stories. You know, I don't think that we share enough about our positive birth stories because people are more tend to talk about things that are negative. So trying to keep your bubble positive and hearing all these positive birth stories and hearing all these stories of other women going through it kind of just helps that, like, being with women. I really enjoyed hearing other people's birth stories, and I don't know,
And I really love the author of this book. The author of this book is Ida May Gaskin, and she is a wonderful midwife. She has been named after the Gaskin maneuver. She's a really, really brilliant midwife, and she has, it's called The Farm, but she has a program where she teaches midwives as well. She's just a really well-known midwife. So this is like a really good read for positivity in general, but I love this for my home birthing moms because a lot of these stories are about home births and natural births and all that good stuff.
And you always feel like if they can do it, I can do it kind of thing, you know?
Well, and I think it's hard too in our society, like the majority of births happen in a hospital. Like we're talking about like less than 2% of the population has a home birth. And while we love that and we're around that all the time, most of the world is not. And so finding people who have good stories about home births is going to be a little bit harder than finding somebody with a story about their hospital birth. So it is kind of nice to have all of that in one place.
And the last book we're going to talk about is The Birth Partner. And I read this book back. Yeah, I love this book. I read it back when I was becoming a doula.
Many moons ago.
I just think it's a really great book all around because it really does talk about the best way to support a woman in labor and what she kind of needs. And I think that was so helpful. So I do recommend this for all like partners.
All the dads. So all the dads and partners, you get this book. Like Oprah.
Yes.
You get a book.
Yes, we'll just hand them out. At home, you need a little bit more support than like maybe, like not, I guess more than a hospital, but
I feel like it's just such different things that you need, right? Like in a different space and setting. And so like in a hospital birth where you're like in a bed, you're limited a little bit. Like maybe you have a doctor who's signed off on your birth plan and gives you a little bit more wiggle room and things like that, but you're a little bit more confined versus
that's what I think I'm going to do. So you're more, and I feel like there's a little bit more involvement. Like you get to doing different positions and helping her and doing those hip squeezes, and it's a little bit easier to do at home. And maybe it's a good thing to do if you are planning a hospital birth. If you plan on laboring at home, this will give you some good tips for that as well. This is by Penny Simkin.
We could really Yeah, it's Simkin, right?
Yeah.
Penny Simkin. I
Penny
can say that. I want to point some things out in here. Like if you, like literally dead center middle of this book is like even positions for labor. And so I think that's really great for like partners to kind of have like a little visual aid. Obviously, if you're a client of Well Rounded Momma, you have your handy dandy workbook and you know that there are some pictures in there and things like this that are similar. This is such a great book because it gives like demos, it gives pictures, it's really good. And this is helpful for our poor dads that look at me deer in headlights in the middle of a birth and go, what do I do? So even though we're talking about like partners reading this even goes over like why you would need a doula and like what resources a doula could provide to you. And they're not there to take the place of dad. And so we always want dads to still learn and know these things and stuff. But I joke that like doulas are like wedding planners, right? They're there to kind of make sure the day goes well and remind people and guide people to where they're supposed to be, guide them to their seats. So
you guys really are a team. Like you guys
your team, yeah,
working together to support everybody involved.
I really love this book. It kind of goes over every support system from positions to doulas to other comfort measures. Really, really
I even had
great book.
Moms like
mothers,
mother-in-laws
read it
great because I've had people be like, I want to support my daughter, how can I best do that? And I've definitely been like, here's a really good book that can give you some information for family members as well.
Yeah, for sure. And if you are a client of Well Rounded Mommas and you're watching this, please know that we do have our lending library in our education room. You are more than welcome. We always have some of these books laying around. If you guys need or want these, you can always borrow them from us and return them back when you're done for the next mama. But we will link below the Amazon links for these books if you're not a client of ours or maybe you're in a different state than us, so that you can also get your hands on these books. They're really, really good reads. I recommend them for everybody. They're some of the first books that a lot of our doulas, when they come into the doula program, read. All three of these, really great reads. Really, really recommend them. If you have questions about books or you want to give us your suggestion on a book that you read that was just really top notch for you and it gave you a lot of insight, please share it with us, link it below, so that other mamas can enjoy those books as well.
If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, ring the bell.
Where is my bell? I always lose my bell.
I know, you should just
I want more. I want a cowbell. Like I want to be like SNL and be like, more cowbell. Anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you get your read on, and we hope that you enjoy these books as much as we did. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Video. Okay.
Cora's like my Vanna. Can I get a vowel? I wish it was like National Reading Month or something. Oh, is that in September? I'm gonna Google it. And we'll post below if it's National Reading Month. I know that's a thing at school. My kid always is talking about it.
I don't remember. I should know.
You don't remember that? You read more than me.
I know. I'm fanatic.
You're like the